It's time for Tour Confidential on Golf.com. Welcome inside our New York City studio. I'm Jessica Marksbury, joined today by Alan Bastable, Connell Barrett, and Cameron Morfitt via Skype. The latest news out of the Tiger Woods camp is that he expects to be back in time for the British Open. And Cameron, this only raises more questions about the likelihood of Tiger playing in this year's Ryder Cup. He's currently outside of the top 50 on the Ryder Cup points list. What does he need to do, if in fact he does come back in time for the British Open, to merit a place on that team?
Well, I mean, I think he's got to contend or maybe even win the British Open. I mean, I think if I'm Tom Watson, I'm not putting him on that team if I want to win the Ryder Cup. I mean, Tiger has just been so off this year. And granted, he's going to get better with the surgery, but this is a major surgery, and coming back that soon, you really could make the argument that that's just too soon. And Graham DeLette had the same surgery, tried to come back in the fall, played a few Web.com events, and later said it was just too soon. He actually almost re-injured himself. So I'd actually like to see Tiger just right off 2014, come back strong next year.
I really can't help but agree with Cameron. It seems like unless he wins and has just some magnificent performance, that he's not necessarily going to be an asset on that team.
The guy 2 points ahead, 2 slots ahead of Tiger on the Ryder Cup points list right now is a guy named Robert Streb. That's how far down the list Tiger Woods is. So, yeah, I think in some ways it takes a little of the onus off Watson, because there would have been so much pressure if Tiger played a full season to put him on just because he's Tiger Woods. Now that we haven't seen him play for so long, yeah, if he comes back in July and continues to play middling golf, and he's going to need to play a lot, he's going to need to get a lot of starts in between the middle of July and middle of September to prove himself. So, and does Tiger even want to play? Does he want to come back in that condition, playing not great golf, go 0-3 or 0-4 and have another poor Ryder Cup? I'm not so sure.
I think if Tiger is standing upright and he's pain-free, Watson will say, I want you on the team. Will you play for me, Tiger? Remember, this is a guy who did win a U.S. Open on a broken leg. I'm not saying Tiger's going to come back
2008.
In 2008. I'm not saying Tiger's going to come out and win the British Open, but I think he just has to be arcing toward playing better golf and pain-free golf for Tom Watson to put him on the team. You know, he's one of the top 2 or 3 players of all time. If he can play, then he should play.
You know who really needs him on the team is NBC. I mean, if he doesn't play, obviously ratings are going to tank. We saw what happened at the Masters, lowest rated Masters in 10 years. They need Tiger in Wales.
Well, there's also the issue, and Cameron, I don't know if you'll agree with this, but Tiger is not necessarily a great Ryder Cup player. He has an excellent singles record, but his team performance is kind of poor, actually.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Jessica. I mean, his Ryder Cup record compared to the rest of his record is pretty unspectacular. He set the bar pretty high, obviously, in his individual stroke play record. But I think Connell is correct in that I think Tom Watson will do everything he can to get him on that team. But I think the reasons are not necessarily that Tiger is going to help the team. He is going to help move the needle. He's going to help sell the event. He's going to help ratings. He's going to help sell some tickets out in Scotland. Is he going to help the U.S. win? Given the state of his health, given his Ryder Cup record, even when he has been healthy, I sort of doubt it.
Well, and the other issue is there's only 3 captain's picks. You look at the guys on that list, names like Keegan Bradley, Ricky Fowler, even Jim Furyk, that are kind of right there on the cusp. Granted, we don't know what they're going to do this summer, but it would be really hard to pick Tiger Woods over some of those other dynamic players if he's not at his best.
I guarantee you Jim Furyk is not getting a spot over Tiger Woods. That much I can tell you.
Though. You never
in
know.
points,
he's
yeah, but
well.
certainly not as a captain's pick. But I look at some of those younger guys, and that's, to me, is what makes the Ryder Cup really fun, is seeing these guys come into their own. You mentioned Keegan Bradley. We saw that with him a couple of years ago playing with Mickelson. We saw it from Anthony Kim. It feels like 20 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. I'm looking forward to see guys like Patrick Reed get out there, and he to me seems like the perfect Ryder Cup player. I mean, he's going to get under guys' skin. He's fiery. He doesn't seem to play with a lot of fear. So I like seeing these new guys get a shot. So maybe this is an opportunity for Tiger to step aside and let a couple of young guns step up.
Well, I think all the young whippersnappers are going to be on the team on points. They're going to have earned their way on. And Watson would look at a hopefully healthy-ish Tiger Woods, a recuperating Tiger Woods, and say, I want the 14-time major winner who's pushing 40, the veteran out there, to win a Sunday singles and pop in for one or two other matches.
You know Tom Watson would be in favor of some veteran players. I think he might give Jim Furyk a chance if he's on the cusp, even with his performance in 2012. Tom Watson might be the guy to do it.
Tom Watson could give Tom Watson a chance. How about that? Give himself a captain's pick. That would be a bold move.
Well, Cameron, Connell, Alan, thank you so much for your time and insight. Thank you all for joining us on Tour Confidential on Golf.com. The Wells Fargo Championship commences this week. Ricky, Rory, Phil, all in action there. We'll be right back here from New York City next week.